When U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter met recently with Chinese General Fan Changlong, the two promised to work together on disaster relief, counter-piracy, and peacekeeping missions. But Carter and Fan also disagreed on China's efforts to restrict air and sea travel in what is recognized as international territory in the South China Sea. The Americans also expressed concern at China's land reclamation project in the Spratly Islands. It's a project Beijing insists it has the right to do.
As the biggest economy in Asia and the biggest country in the South China Sea, China has the obligations, responsibility, and capability to provide better public security service.
Even as Beijing says it's about to finish that project, the Obama administration is calling it a bad idea.
Nothing's changed about our view of these destabilizing activities there in the South China Sea. And I suspect that this will be an issue that comes up. In fact, I know it will come up next week.
Secretary of State John Kerry will host the Strategic and Economic Dialogue here in Washington on June 23rd and 24th. The U.S.'s concerns about China's efforts to expand its military influence in the Asia-Pacific are certain to dominate the talks. But China's political and economic ambitions are also on the agenda, and experts say those too are certain to generate tough conversations. Among the big problems, cybersecurity. Unnamed U.S. officials blame Beijing-supported hackers for recent attacks on U.S. government computer servers. U.S. firms complain about restrictions on doing business in China, and Washington still accuses Beijing of manipulating the value of the yuan, which makes it harder to sell U.S. products in China. Some experts say that the U.S. must now view China as an equal political and military power if it wants an improved relationship.
China's creating the facts in terms of the institutions it's setting up, the role that it's taking on, in a way that means that a lot of these conversations now have to be done effectively at something closer to peer level, and the tone of them increasingly reflects that.
The challenge for the U.S. is to ensure that Beijing takes its concerns seriously while not putting on so much pressure that it loses access and influence of its own. Rosiland, Al Jazeera, the State Department.